Good evening. Less than a year after the euphoria of London 2012 and all the talk of Olympic legacy, the future of some leisure centres in Birmingham is now in doubt.
The City Council says it needs to reduce its overspend on its sport and leisure budget by £3 million. There are 29 council-run gyms and 16 pools in the city, but the council is now looking at closing or privatising some of these centres and encouraging people to make more of Birmingham's natural outdoor facilities, including parks and the canal towpaths. Nick Clitheroe reports.
This is a leisure centre without walls, and it might have to be the future of sport in Birmingham, because the City Council revealed today that it needs to reduce spending on sport and leisure by £3 million a year. One option would be shutting conventional leisure centres, another would be selling them off.
We'll sell off that particular site and we'll invest the money from a particular sale in providing something somewhere else within the constituency. And I know that colleagues are talking about doing exactly that. A number of our leisure centres, a number of our swimming pools are getting to a point in time when they need major investment. And it might be better not to invest in those sites, but to invest elsewhere.
But that might not be so easy. This centre is a perfect example of the council's dilemma. It's in one of the most deprived areas of the city and unlikely to attract a private buyer. But it's had great success in getting people fitter, and that saves us all money. That's why the council have come up with a third option, turning leisure centres into well-being centres. They would provide many of the same services, but funded by public health money and with a remit to tackle obesity in the city. Health funding already backs Birmingham's Be Active scheme, which offers some free gym sessions at Chardon Community Centre. And that's not the only way they've been keeping fit here for free.
It's fitness for body and mind, because they come here, they talk, they socialise and they dance, they keep their legs moving.
They do ballroom and they keep fit, very healthy, and it's very good for the older people.
The council also want to get more people keeping fit outdoors. The weekly park run at Cannon Hill has shown what can be done. And in fact, there are already many outdoor fitness sessions, like this one at Walker's Heath Park.
I get enjoyment to these sessions, and I find it really helps to keep me fit.
I hadn't picked up a tennis racket for about 40 years, and when I found out that there was this free tennis coaching, I thought, yes, why not?
Every leisure centre will now be assessed, and proposals to cut spending will go to the council's cabinet in October. Nick Clitheroe, BBC Midlands Today, Birmingham.
I'm joined now by Janice Thompson, Professor of Public Health, Nutrition and Exercise at the University of Birmingham. Good evening. What impact would there be on the health of the people of Birmingham if some of these centres did close?
Well, obviously for the people that use them, and that's their sole source of exercise, it would have a big impact. I think there are other alternatives we can explore, and of course I understand we have to save money, but it's always a shame when we have to cut as many opportunities as we really need for the diversity of people for activity. Okay,
so what about these alternatives, bearing in mind that there's already an overspend of £3 million?
Well, we just saw some examples of maybe there's other kinds of programs that might be offered for free. I think the other
But somebody has to pay for that, don't they, somewhere?
It depends, not necessarily. Some people will do things voluntarily, but I think the other thing we forget about is how much we can incorporate it into our daily lives. For instance, active commuting. If you can actively commute, walk, cycle, those types of things are available to all of us. And even when we're at work, can you leave your desk? Can you move around? So, I mean, those are really basic examples of daily things we can do that may not necessarily be organised sport or activity.
What about this much heralded Olympic legacy? Because London won the Games on the back of actually getting more of us active. How can we do that? Because gyms aren't for everybody, are they? Or outdoor exercise. We don't have the climate.
Well, exactly. Or, in a sense, you can have the climate. It's how do you get people to want to exercise even if the weather's a little bit bad. It's all relative. We don't usually get 8,000 feet of snow like we do in parts of the US. So I think it's partly changing culture and attitude, accessing the outdoor things that we can. But with the Olympic legacy, a lot of that investment was to get our sporting people and teams optimized. We hope to get people more active, and that's what we'd like to do. And we're obviously going to have to continue to try to be creative around how to do that with the budget cuts that we're seeing.
And just finally, briefly, any good examples from overseas as to how we can do this?
There are actually successful outdoor examples. They tend to be in places where weather is better all year round, but definitely there are a lot of programs, like I said, with including dance, including promotion for active commuting, and possibly reducing the cost of maybe council tax or other things getting that towards being active, saving on your health insurance, which we don't have here, but I think there are ways we can trade a bit, where if people do things, they might get a bit of a reward in addition to the benefits of exercise.
A bit of carrot and stick. Professor Thompson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, coming up later.